Hey YouTubers, this is my review for UFC on Fox, Dodson versus Johnson. It was a really enjoyable card, really enjoyed a lot of the fights, some great highlights of the certain fights. Let's first start off with Ricardo Lamas versus Eric Koch. It was, pretty simple. Lamas got in there, was aggressive, got a takedown in the second round, and pretty much laid down the elbows and the punches. A great ground and pound. He pretty much, he cut him up real bad too. Lamas did. It's probably one of the worst that I've actually kind of seen on the ground as far as cuts. I'm pretty sure there is, but as far as recent memory goes, he really just cut him up really bad on the ground, and the blood was squirting everywhere. And he finished the job in the second round, 232. Now, the other fight that I was really excited to talk to you guys about was the Anthony Pettis and Donald Cerrone fight. It was excellent. The skill involved in there, and not only that, but I just love guys bringing in new techniques, quote unquote, that normally won't be used in the octagon and really excel with them. And that's Anthony Pettis and using the Taekwondo. The kicks were just what really brought this fight out. Anthony Pettis went in there and used his kicks for range. He also did some actual striking with his hands. But for the most part, this guy was just everywhere. This guy is about as close as you're going to get to a ninja in the octagon. He's doing, did you guys see that Showtime knee that he did? That's what they're calling it. But it's basically, he jumped off of the cage and kneed Donald Cerrone. He actually caught him with a really good knee also too, before he did that knee off of the cage. And then he finally finished him off with a liver kick, body kick to the right to the liver, man. Right to the liver. Just, Boss Rudin is really always talking about doing liver kicks and liver punches and things like that. And let me tell you guys, when you get hit in the liver, you shut down automatically. There is no coming back. You get in the liver, it's over. As you see with Donald Cerrone, he got hit in the liver, and that was it. He just crumbled. And Anthony Pettis went over there and, hit him a couple of times with the punches, but that didn't matter at all. He could have literally did that body shot to the liver and walked away, and Donald Cerrone wasn't going to get up. It was very impressive. I enjoyed that fight, on a bunch of levels. I think I watched that fight probably a good 4 times so far. I really enjoyed it and seeing all the technical aspects of it. So Donald Cerrone loses. Anthony Pettis moves up. I would really like to see him go against Ben Henderson if Ben Henderson gets past Melendez. So we'll see what happens on that. Then we have Glover Teixeira versus Quentin Rampage Jackson. This fight, was what you would expect from Quentin Rampage Jackson. He got tired in the first round. He, didn't really even do any type of, takedowns, or I think he threw 1 or 2 kicks the whole match. And they were horrible kicks at that. I don't expect the guy to grow, but as far, grow in that shortest time span, do you really expect Quentin Rampage Jackson to go in there and throw kicks and do wrestling and takedowns? No. But you would expect him to grow, and what he has to really understand is that he, seems to not be able to compete with these guys that are learning more and trying to adapt their game more. Quentin Rampage Jackson is just staying still, and he's getting passed by a lot of people, and that seems to be his issue, is that he's not willing to change. He's not willing to do a lot of stuff. He's always nitpicking and complaining and all that other stuff, when, to be honest with you, there's a lot of fighters that work extremely hard, a lot harder than he does, and he still gets a lot of pay. Yes, he's an exciting fighter. Yes, he talks really, if he gets fans, he hypes up fights really well. But, continuing to lose and lose and lose and lose, he's on a 3-loss streak, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. No one's going to continue to put money on you when they know that you're going to lose. No one's going to want to come and see you when they know you're going to lose. But Glover went in there and pretty much did what he wanted to do. You know, he mixed it up. He went in there and he stood there and banged with Rampage, but then he also too, when he felt that it was getting a little too hot, he went and took Rampage down. But he didn't hold him down. He, you know, got in a couple of shots, let him get back up, did the boxing thing again. When it got too hot again, take him down again, push him up against the cage. He mixed it up, which says a lot about you know, Glover. I mean, it just says that he's a mixed martial arts fighter. He's not trying to go in there and just win by standing up. Everybody likes knockouts. But if you can't get the knockout, why sit there and put yourself at risk to lose? Because you know how UFC is. If you lose, you know, you get a couple of losses, maybe possibly 2 to 3 losses, you're going to be cut. And it's just unless you're like Quentin Rampage Jackson. But, you know, for the most part, you're going to be cut. So, Glover wins this one by unanimous decision. What can you say? He moves up. Quentin Rampage, you know, gets out. I think that was his last fight at the UFC. I think I was watching the interview with Dana White, and he was saying Rampage was leaving, saying that you're yelling, "You're going to miss me," you know, and all this other crazy stuff. But whatever. He's probably going to go to Bellator and beat up some cans and, you know, say that he's renewed and all this other stuff. Who knows what he's going to do? Maybe he just go to other fights over in Japan or other like small shows. But he has to understand he's not going to get paid like he got paid in the UFC. So anyway, then we have Demetrius Johnson versus John Dodson. Now, guys, this was probably it was close to one of the best 5-round fights that I have seen in a very, very long time. I mean, it's up there with the Shogun and Dan Henderson fight. I mean, it's definitely one of the best flyweight fights that I've seen. These guys went in there and fought. You know, and what I liked about these guys was the contrast. The contrast was Dodson was the more powerful puncher and more explosive. But then you have Demetrius Johnson, who is the more experienced, and his motor doesn't stop. This guy just keeps going. His stamina is just unbelievable. And you would think, which one would win the fight? The more experienced guy? The more experienced guy? Or the more experienced guy? Or the guy who goes in there and has the power to knock individuals out? Well, in this aspect, it was the more experienced guy, the guy who had the cardio, and that seemed to win the fight for him. I would say in the 4th and 5th round is really when Demetrius Johnson really picked up the pace, and John Dodson couldn't keep up with the pace. He pretty much, you know, dominated those 2 rounds and just was able to use Muay Thai and whatnot to really control the fight and bloody up Dodson, and also take him to the ground with his takedowns and whatnot, and keep him there and pound him and frustrate him and tire him out. Whereas in the early rounds, I would say in that 2nd to 3rd round, I would say the 2nd and 3rd round, you had John Dodson who went in there and was laying haymakers on Demetrius Johnson, knocking him down a couple of times and dazing him a couple of times also. But in my opinion, I thought that he should have went to finish him instead of holding back and being more conservative and thinking that he was going to eventually catch him full blown. I think he just should have jumped on top of him and not just wanted to go into those later rounds. But like John Dodson said, hey, you live and you learn, and next time when he comes back, he won't make that same mistake again. So then you had so in the end, Demetrius Johnson defeated John Dodson by unanimous decision. He ends up winning that fight. But John Dodson is going to definitely has a future in this division. He just needs to get some more experience, and he definitely will be back to challenge Demetrius Johnson at some point in time. If he's champion or not, he'll still be able to go in there and compete with him. But it was an excellent fight, guys. I really enjoyed this UFC on Fox, the championship flyweight match, which is really good. I really enjoyed it. Tell me what you guys thought. Did you guys think, were you happy to see Quentin Rampage Jackson get out? What did you think about the Anthony Pettis-Cerrone fight? Just let me guys know what you guys thought of the fight card, just all in general. And as usual, guys, help my channel out by rating, subscribing, and commenting. I'll see you guys in the next prediction video. Peace.